Hey there, I'm Chloe.
And I'm Noor.
And welcome to this week's episode of Draw My Scandal,
where we talk about celebrities, news and cool stuff.
So this week we'll be talking about Trump banning refugees, aka the Muslim ban.
We'll be looking at how people, politicians and celebrities have reacted to the ban.
The boycotting of Uber and Starbucks, but some good news from Airbnb and Beyonce.
And finally, the shooting that happened in the Quebec mosque.
Alright, let's
just do that,
Alright, well, let's get you up to speed first. First of all, what is an executive order?
An executive order is an official statement from the president that tells parts of the government what to do.
And Trump's executive order is a ban on refugees from entering the country, the United States.
Initially, when the order was signed, there was a lot of confusion amongst both the government and the media about people with green cards.
And dual citizenships.
Right, so as it stands, the State Department has now said anyone with a green card or dual citizenship will be allowed back into the country.
But when they arrive back in the US, they'll have all their details taken down as well as fingerprints, and then they'll go through a secondary interview.
People coming back from holiday and anyone with a dual citizenship were getting stopped over the weekend, and there was chaos at airports.
I mean, let's look at who the order actually affects. To start off with, it stops citizens from 7 Muslim-majority countries from entering the US for a period of 90 days.
The countries are Syria, Iran, Sudan, Libya, Somalia, Yemen and Iraq.
The ban completely suspends any refugees coming from any of these countries, 5 of which, by the way, are being bombed by the US currently.
It also gives preference to accepting Christian refugees from the Middle East over Muslim refugees.
And it reduces the cap on the total number of refugees allowed to enter the US in 2017.
Now that we've laid down the base, let's look at one of Trump's comments about the order. He said, "My policy is similar to what President Obama did in 2011 when he banned visas for refugees from Iraq for 6 months. Okay, so I did some fact checking, and what he's saying isn't true. Obama did not ban refugees for 6 months.
Okay, so what actually happened in 2011, referring back to the Kentucky case, there were 2 Iraqis in Kentucky who were arrested and faced federal terrorism charges.
Congress was absolutely mad.
People were mad.
Everyone was mad about this, so Obama's administration then pledged to re-examine the records of 58,000 Iraqis who had settled in the United States.
They imposed more extensive background checks on Iraqi refugees to emphasize there was absolutely no ban or suspension on visas.
Granted, the new background checks slowed the visa process down, but only for 2011.
So in 2010, the year before, they took in around 18,000 refugees.
Then in 2011, when the background checks were put into place, it went down to around 6,000 refugees.
And then in 2012, it went back up to somewhere around 16,000.
So Trump's statement was just false. Aside from his lies about the ban, he's also been incredibly rash and unorganized. This past week there has been chaos because no one was informed, not even Trump's own administration, of what was happening. The DHS had no meaningful warning.
Senator John McCain said he was caught off guard.
And there was no guidance provided to Customs and Border Protection.
Another point of confusion is how Donald Trump cited 9/11 as an example of why we need this ban.
Hey Chloe, what countries were the 9/11 attackers from?
Oh, that would be Saudi Arabia, the UAE, United Arab Emirates, Turkey and, Egypt.
Oh, are any of those countries banned?
No.
It's just an odd choice to make on his part, you know?
I guess, in my opinion, the executive order is irrational and it's going to cause even more divide in the country, in fact, probably the world.
Dude, a 5-year-old boy was separated from his mother and detained for more than 4 hours.
Well, on what grounds?
He's a US citizen with an Iranian mother. He was reportedly handcuffed at an airport because he posed a security risk.
Oh my god. And Sean Spicer hasn't been helping at all, why would he? He's Trump's press secretary, aka the dude who's supposed to calm the storm and inform the media of what's going on. What's he actually been doing?
He literally said to assume that just because of someone's age and gender that they don't pose a threat would be misguided and wrong, in response to why is there a 5-year-old detained?
Just genuinely disgusting to demonize a child and imply that he could be a threat. Like, what's this actual legitimate 5-year-old going to do, Nora? Is he going to just complain them to death?
I don't know, Chloe. This 5-year-old might throw a tantrum of terrorism.
These 5-year-olds going around radicalizing the naughty step.
May I just add that there has never actually been any kind of fatal attacks in the US by refugees.
You are genuinely more likely to be killed by a vending machine, that is, vending machine, than you are by a refugee.
Dude, you know what's mad? In the US, 450 people die each year because they fall out of bed.
Oh, am I need to update my health insurance.
Maybe not in the UK.
Oh, I fall out of bed a lot, man.
By the way, do you know where Trump was while chaos ensued in airports all over the country?
I genuinely don't.
He was having a family screening of Finding Dory in the White House Theatre.
Oh my god, you need to stop. Is Trump just like, oh hey, while families are being separated, I'm just gonna watch this movie about family being separated?
Yeah, not to mention, how have they not already seen Finding Dory? It's 2017, for goodness sake.
Is this video over yet?
Nope, it is not, Chloe. As a result of this ban, large protests have been breaking out at airports where people have been detained, and all over the country, as well as all over the world.
In the UK, people went on marches to call out Prime Minister Theresa May for her silence towards the ban.
Chloe and I also went to the protest happening in London.
Ah, this was my favourite sign.
Mine too. We went because Theresa didn't condemn the ban, and she only made a very brief comment after US District Judge Anne Donnelly halted Trump's refugee deportations.
Quoting The Guardian, she, Anne Donnelly, granted a stay on deportations for people who arrived in the US with valid visas but were detained on entry, which means people who have come to the US from the 7 countries can stay, although unfortunately there have already been people who have been sent back.
Another result of the ban has been people boycotting Uber.
And this is because taxi drivers joined the protest for 1 hour in solidarity against the ban.
But Uber didn't join in and continued their services.
Uber tweeted, "Surge pricing has been turned off at JFK Airport. This may result in longer wait times. Please be patient."
They were labelled as strike breakers because they were making a profit even though they took off the surplus charge.
Uber then tweeted, "Last tweet not meant to break strike. Our CEO statement opposing travel ban and compensating those impacted."
The CEO basically opposed the ban and said, "We'll compensate drivers impacted by the ban pro bono for the next 3 months."
A lot of people said they were deleting the app and switching to Lyft.
Only Lyft did the same exact thing as Uber. They took off the surplus and continued their services as usual, which is why I have beef with this boycott.
Meanwhile, Lyft is putting $1 million into the American Civil Liberties Union.
And after Lyft announced this, Uber also said they're going to be creating a $3 million defense fund for Uber employees.
I think people are mad about Uber because the CEO is part of the Economic Advisory Board.
But so is like Pepsi and Disney. These people are there to advise. If all of these companies were against refugees, then the boycotts make sense, but they're not against refugees.
Meanwhile, people on the flip side, these are people who are pro the refugee ban, want to ban Starbucks because they said they're going to be hiring 10,000 refugees worldwide. This is a good thing.
Yeah, I just don't understand any of the boycotts.
People are angry that Starbucks isn't, say, prioritising veterans, but Starbucks has a veteran program already. They've hired 8,000 vets and military spouses in the past 2 years.
Not to mention, Starbucks wants to prioritise refugees who have helped and supported the US military.
Quick mention, another company that wants to help refugees is Airbnb. The founder and CEO, Brian Chesky, has made a Facebook post saying Airbnb is providing free housing to refugees and anyone else who needs it.
He said, "We have 3 million homes, so we can definitely find people a place to stay."
It's nice to see everyone trying to help in some way, and in different ways. I think 2016 was the year that we all mourned. 2017 is going to be the year that we all fight.
Yeah, there's been quite a few celebrities that have also called out against the ban as well.
Gigi and Bella Hadid were both spotted marching against the ban.
Ashton Kutcher opened the SAG Awards by calling Trump out on his ban.
Seth Rogen has tweeted, "One of the many reasons I'm opposed to the hashtag Muslim ban is because my family immigrated to North America after fleeing wars in Russia. One of the other reasons I oppose the hashtag Muslim ban is that I feel its prime effect is persecuting innocent refugees.
I'm the child of people with green cards. It's a simple twist of fate that I'm of Indian Hindu descent and not something else. Please let's not extinguish the hopes of people who love this country."
Dev Patel called it a nightmare, just straight up.
Sarah Paulson asked people to donate to the American Civil Liberties Union.
Cal Penn received hate from some douchebag who told him he doesn't belong in America.
And in the name of that douchebag, he started a crowd fund and raised $800,000 for the International Rescue Committee, which is mad.
Also, the cast of The Orange is the New Black, they spoke about diversity at the SAG Awards. Oh, and David Harbour from Stranger Things, oh, he got angry on stage.
Yeah, he got super angry. Winona Ryder's face was amazing.
Wasn't it great?
Rihanna, Kerry Washington, Chrissy Teigen, Miley Cyrus, Kim Kardashian, Ricky Gervais, and so many more.
And even Beyonce, in her own way, has lifted our spirits because she recently announced she's pregnant with twins on Instagram. The internet only blew up for, about an hour or two, but oh man, it was...
Yeah, it's still trending.
Big.
It's still trending.
Of course it is.
But unfortunately, no amount of good news can overshadow the bad this week.
God, I wish this is where the video ends, but I It isn't.
This next story is entirely soul-crushing.
Okay, so last week, on January 29th, there was a mass shooting in a mosque in Quebec, Canada.
And as of recording this, 5 people are still in hospital, 2 who were in critical condition.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called it a terrorist attack on Muslims.
The killer and terrorist, Alexander Bissonnette, faces 6 counts of first-degree murder and 5 of attempted murder.
Fox News, because of course they did, claimed that witnesses said at least one gunman shouted Allahu Akbar, and they tweeted, "Suspect in Quebec mosque terror attack was of Moroccan origin."
Various news outlets like Fox depicted the shooter as Muslim. Right-wing nationalist tabloids in the UK linked it to Islamic violence. The reality is that there was only one shooter, and he is a French-Canadian white nationalist. No media outlets are calling him a terrorist, but that's exactly what he is.
And it bothers me that he's being called a child or troubled or mentally ill. No, he's an adult who made a decision to kill people.
Some news sites have dismissed him as an internet troll, and no one is really talking about his troubling anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant and anti-feminist posts.
I just don't understand this desperate need to humanize, or not even humanize, this desperate need to excuse him. Like what he said earlier, he is a terrorist. The word terrorist doesn't change by definition depending on the colour of your skin.
Yes. Racist Richard Spencer also had a Twitter outburst sparking more anger and hate towards Muslims.
Racist Richard Spencer, well, he seems well-spoken and calm, but his agenda is entirely to cause nothing but chaos. Because, you know, it is interesting, I guess, how the shooting happened very shortly after Trump signed the executive order.
That's what I thought, but I've also recently learnt that there's been a troubling amount of Islamophobia in Quebec for a long time.
So what do you guys think? Is this a coincidence, or do you think this person has been somewhat influenced by the whole anti-Muslim rhetoric that's been going around of late? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, please do let us know what you think. This week we're going to skip comments of the week to save time, but we really want to feature your thoughts about the refugee ban in next week's video.
So please be sure to leave a comment below. We're interested to know your thoughts, regardless of what your stance is.
Yeah, Chloe and I obviously and naturally have our own opinions, but we are very opinionated people. But we do like to debate and have a conversation.
That's one of the most important parts about democracy. Everyone can contribute, and free speech is important.
Thank you for watching this week's Draw My Scandal.
We upload every Friday.
I mentioned earlier that Chloe and I went to the protest in London.
So if you want to see pictures or follow what we did, our @handle is @DrawMyCelebLife.
If you'd like to follow our personal accounts, mine is @HiMyNameIsNor.
And mine is @ScarfDemon.
Oh, and by the way, if you'd like to read about any of the stuff we've spoken about today, all the links are in the description.
Also, if you've been affected by any of the issues that we've raised, or if you're just wondering how you can help out, we have some links both on the video now and in the description to some very worthy causes who are helping refugees.
Until next time,
Bye, guys.